The NFL draft is quickly approaching, but are enough people talking about how Najee Harris may just go off this season for the Chargers?
Well, the identity here is obviously to play hard-nosed football.
How's it going today, POV fam? Welcome back to Point of View. As always, we appreciate your comments and feedback like this one, so be sure to drop a comment because you may see it in a future video. But to today's topic, is the Chargers signing of Najee Harris going to be as impactful as the Eagles with Saquon Barkley? Now that might sound like a big leap, but hear me out. It's no secret that the Chargers offense lacked a killer last season. They blew several second-half leads, and even though it didn't always cost them the game like against the Bengals, Najee Harris can help fix that because he's a true closer. He proved exactly that in multiple occasions, including against the Chargers while playing for the Steelers. Here's what he had to say about being in a Kobe situation.
In those situations, we'll call it a Kobe situation. You know, that's just a person who closes out the game. And usually that was me over there in Pittsburgh.
Someone with the Mamba mentality is back in LA. Harris even wore special Mamba cleats as an homage to Kobe this season. Now I know, simply closing out games cannot be the only argument for Harris, and that all you stat heads out there will be like, but JK Dobbins had better stats like yards per carry. But you know what JK Dobbins also had? A more than capable offensive line and passing attack. In fact, Dobbins averaged over 2 yards a carry before contact last season, whereas Harris was under 2 in that category. And while that stat may not be the most interesting to the Chargers and their fans, you know which stat it probably is? Availability. Dobbins hasn't played a full season in his NFL career, and Eckler only did so once in the City of Angels. But Najee is different. Najee hasn't missed a start. Not one in his NFL career, nor his college career, nor even in his high school career. So just imagine Harris day in and day out with a better offensive line. In fact, he's already doing so. Listen to this.
The identity is what makes the plays, the integrity of how it is. And that's what that brought me here is, watching their games throughout, not just our game, but throughout the season, to see how their O-line works, how good that their line is and, how they finish and the integrity that they bring. I feel like, that's what makes the plays is the O-line, and they have a good O-line here, so just want to take advantage of that.
And don't be surprised if he does take advantage of that improved line, as he surpassed 1,000 yards every season for the Steelers, despite having an average at best offensive line, and even that may be a little generous. But Austin Eckler never amassed 1,000 yards for the Bolts. You're right, but that's only half of the story. Before we get into that, I just want to remind you that we drop POV episodes featuring the most interesting perspective on the sports world, mine 3 times a week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm talking the stories you won't get anywhere else, so remember to join the discussion, smack that subscribe button right now, and turn on notifications so you're always in the know. Now back to Eckler's other half. During his tenure for the Chargers, he averaged 80 rushing and receiving yards a game combined. That's his whole career. The good years, the bad, when injured and healthy, that's around 1,400 yards a season. Now last year, JK Dobbins did put up Eckler-esque numbers on the ground, and he was the Chargers' leading receiver out of the backfield with 32 receptions for 153 yards. That's it. Ladd McConkey almost did that in 1 half. Now math majors will also tell you that's only 4.8 yards per reception and over 4 yards less per reception than Eckler produced for LA. Expect Najee to put up similar numbers to that of Eckler simply because he has done so much in his career with the Steelers, and he proved that he is more than capable of being a receiving threat in college. It's also something he relishes and takes pride in. Listen in.
I'm a versatile back. It's just a certain offense I was just using a certain way, but we're really good in the receiving game too. I feel like doesn't go noticed enough, but just an all-around back, man. That's how I see myself.
I'm not sure who was necessarily catching strays there, but Harris definitely came out firing when he said that in a certain offense, he was using a certain way. Now, I have a feeling a certain head coach has a certain vision for how he plans to use Najee, and if it's like how he used backs previously, whether it was with Blake Corum or Frank Gore or even Toby Gerhart, expect a big workload for Harris and expect him to deliver. But don't be surprised if Harris isn't the only one delivering for La La Land this fall, as the Dodgers are off to yet another fast start. And for the reason they aren't ruining baseball, check out this past episode of Point of View. And the moment you've been waiting for, here's the answer to today's trivia question. We appreciate you tuning in. We will see you back here tomorrow.